Daniel was a young Jewish man exiled to Babylon with others of his people. Despite their captivity, he and his friends, Hananiah, Mishael and Azariah, decided to remain faithful to God and his laws. They refused the king's food and wine, preferring a vegetarian diet. The loyalty of Daniel and his friends caught the attention of the chief eunuch, who, impressed by their faith, allowed them to follow his diet. Over time, they proved to be wiser and healthier than the young men who had eaten at the king's table. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had a disturbing dream that none of his wise men could interpret. Faced with a death sentence looming, Daniel asked for time to pray and seek God's answer. In a night vision, God revealed to Daniel the meaning of the king's dream. The next day, Daniel appeared before Nebuchadnezzar and explained the dream, detailing an immense statue depicting the great empires of the world and their eventual destruction by God's kingdom. Impressed by Daniel's wisdom, the king exalted him and made him governor of Babylon and chief of all the wise men. Daniel shared his honor with his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Nebuchadnezzar had another dream, this time of a great tree being cut down and then growing back. Daniel interpreted this dream as a warning to the king, who would be humiliated and lose his reason for a time. Just as Daniel had prophesied, Nebuchadnezzar went mad and lived like an animal in the field for 7 years. When he regained his reason, he acknowledged God's sovereignty and praised his name. After Nebuchadnezzar's death, Belshazzar, his grandson, held a great banquet and desecrated the sacred vessels of the Temple of Jerusalem. In the midst of the feast, a mysterious hand appeared and wrote on the wall. Belshazzar's magicians and diviners were unable to interpret the writing. In desperation, the king summoned Daniel, who revealed that the writing foretold the fall of Babylon that very night. That same night, the Medes and Persians captured the city and killed Belshazzar. Daniel served several Persian kings, including Darius the Mede and Cyrus the Great. During Darius' reign, he was falsely accused of treason and thrown into a den of lions. However, God shut the lions' mouths and Daniel emerged unharmed. Darius, amazed by the power of God, issued a decree forbidding the worship of any god other than the God of Daniel. Daniel continued to serve the king and the people, interpreting dreams and visions. In his prophecies, he described the rise and fall of future empires, as well as the coming of the Messiah and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. The books of Daniel and Revelation contain many of Daniel's prophecies, which have been the subject of study and debate throughout the centuries. His visions of the future have inspired believers and scholars alike. The story of Daniel is a testimony to the power of God and the importance of faith. Despite adversity, Daniel maintained his integrity and trust in God, becoming an example of courage and wisdom for all generations.